Hi, my little angels. Come in, come in. Come, be welcome, be comfortable. This is a special night. So please have a seat. Candy's here with us, walking around. But please, I've put one hammock by the window so you can watch the snow falling. We're getting quite a bit tonight. And I've got one over by the heater vent for those that need a little extra warmth. And there's one in front of the fireplace that doesn't work. But please be comfortable. Each hammock will fit 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 of you comfortably. 4 if you're friendly. And we have the rocking chair over there. 2 of you will fit there. That's it. Just put the feet up. Perfect. And we do have all the meditation cushions. You have the couches, the chairs. The love seat is Candy's. If she wants to share with you, she will. And there's little blankets in case you're a little chilled. Everybody, it is a chilly night, isn't it? I know. But I do have refreshments for us too. Yes. Tonight I didn't do a chilled beverage. I just did warm because there really is a chill in the air. So tonight we have 2, not 1, but 2, not 1, but 2 beverages. So the first one is our hot milk bar. We've done this before. I have hot chocolate bombs beside it, and we have a sugar-free for our diabetic friends. We have vegan for our vegan friends, and we have whole milk for our whole milk friends. But we have the chocolate bombs to put in the milk. We also have different syrups. We have an eggnog syrup, butterscotch ripple syrup, a strawberry syrup. The warm milk, it just is so soothing. And you can put marshmallows on top, you can put chocolate on top, cookie sprinkles, whatever you want to do. And on the other side, I've done mulled cider again, because you guys love my mulled cider. And in it is some cinnamon sticks. And what I do is I just put these in cheesecloth and tie it with twine, but you can use a coffee filter and an elastic band if you want. Clean one. And it's a cinnamon stick, some cloves, a piece of ginger, some cardamom seeds, and a star anise, and some allspice berries as well. And that just makes it so rich and luxurious. And you simmer it on the stove with your lid on, otherwise it will evaporate, but your home will smell amazing. And there's some caramel that you can drizzle on top. Of course. What's that, sweetie? Of course you can help yourself. You're new, aren't you? We have new little angels, guys. Hello, welcome. Come in and be welcomed. I'm so glad you're here. If you're new, please give it a thumbs up. You can share it. Sharing is caring. And if you're a silent watcher, that's okay. I'm just glad you're here. I'm glad for the company. And if you're comfortable leaving comments, do so at the bottom. I love the comments. We love the comments, don't we, everybody? Yeah. I love to watch you guys interact with each other. I love interacting with you. I love knowing what you think, what you feel, your ideas, your questions, your gentle critiques. Gentle. Emphasis on the gentle. And please hit that subscribe button below. And the reason we do all this interacting is so that we can connect. When we connect, we take this great big world and go and make it smaller. And that's a good thing. And I see you, my returning little angels. Hello, 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 hello. Thank you for always being here, for your constant love, your support, everything. You mean everything to me. Thank you so much. I love all of you. So tonight is a very special night. We did this last year. My bestie and I, Lorri Latte ASMR, are collabing. For those of you that have never been to our channel, why? Go, go, go. Sub to her channel. She is amazing. You will learn so much about so much makeup, skincare, how to save money, how to budget shop, how to do everything. And she puts together the most beautiful gifts. But one of the best gifts she has is her voice. She is one of the most amazing singers I've ever heard. When Lorri sings, it soothes my soul. My troubles vanish when she sings. So last year, she sang Christmas carols by the tree, and I read from my book, Stories Behind the Best Love Songs of Christmas. And this is, it just says Ace Collins, and I got this book from Amazon. I read it last year for a few of the stories, and everybody went crazy for it. So I'm going to link Lorri's video in the description below, and go and listen to her sing. I don't have all of the songs that she sings in this book, but I am going to do 2 or 3, and they are just so amazing when she sings them. And when you hear the story behind it, I think you'll really enjoy it. Okay, so settle in, be comfortable, and listen to the story. So the first one we're going to do is What Child Is This? And she sings this so beautifully. What child is this? What Child Is This is one of the most moving and beautiful Victorian carols. It can trace its history back farther than the days of the infamous Henry VIII. Though the song was registered to Richard Jones in 1580, legend is that the notorious King Henry might have even written the original lyrics himself as he courted Anne Boleyn. The song's association with King Henry was forever tied to Greensleeves when William Shakespeare used it in his play The Merry Wives of Windsor. The haunting melody, often associated with guitar or harpsichord solos, most likely predates Henry VIII by hundreds of years. As an ancient English folk song, there have been more than 20 different known lyrics associated with it throughout its history, and many more might have been lost. First published in 1652, the melody became even more popular than the lyrics associated with Henry VIII. For much of its early life, the tune known as Greensleeves was associated with pubs as a popular drinking song. Although God is mentioned in a closing verse of the best-known lyrics, nothing about the song closely resembled a religious piece. It was simply one of the era's most popular folk songs. By the 19th century, Greensleeves was almost as beloved as God Save the Queen. Even without its association with Christmas and What Child Is This, Greensleeves would probably still be a well-known tune in England today. Yet it has different lyrics than the world fully embraced the British tune. William Chatterton Dix was assuredly not thinking about Greensleeves when he sat down with pen and paper to record his thoughts of Christmas in 1865. Dix was an insurance man by trade, but a poet by heart. Serious about his writing, he studied other poets. He read classic literature and spent a great deal of time in college working on his creative craft. The Englishman was even named after Chatterton, one of England's greatest poets. Dix's father, who insisted that William be christened with the scribe's name, had once written a biography of the poet and encouraged his son to follow in the footsteps of his hero. Born in Somerset, England in 1837, during a time when few adventurous folks migrated more than 50 miles from where they were born, Dix found himself manager of a marine insurance company in Glasgow, Scotland, and this was by the time he was 25. Though in charge of some of his company's most important accounts and eventually the head of a growing family, Dix still found time to write. Many correctly accused him of pursuing poetry as his passion and his job as his sideline venture. Dix's writing embraced a wide range of thoughts and subjects. It lacked much focus, however, until tragedy struck. A near-fatal illness robbed him of his strength and confined the man to bed for many months. As he lay near death, he often reflected on his faith. Reading his Bible and studying the works of respected theologians, Dix reaffirmed his belief in not only Christ as Savior, but the power of God to move his own life. Not long after regaining his strength, an inspired Dix produced some of the greatest hymns ever written by an English layman. Songs by Dix were Alleluia, Sing to Jesus, and As with Gladness, Men of Old, and they are still being sung around the world today. In the era while Dix was writing hymns and raising a family, Christmas was not the commercial celebration it is today. Neither was it a season where many openly celebrated the birth of Christ. Conservative Christian churches forbade gift-giving, decorating, or even acknowledging the day. These Puritan groups feared that if set aside as a special day, Christmas would become a day of pagan rituals more than a very serious time of worship. Other churches held services, but were also intent on the day being reserved for only a time of worshiping. In this context, it was unusual for Dix to feel moved to write about Christ's birth, since many hymn writers of the period ignored Christmas altogether. There's no record of why Dix decided to write of the first Christmas, nor did he share with his friends and family how the poem he penned was written quickly in but a single session. Yet the writer's Christmas work, entitled The Manger Throne, quickly emerged as his most memorable effort. The song's powerful words presented a unique view of the birth of Christ. While the baby was the focal point of the song, the viewpoint of the writer seemed to be that of an almost confused observer. In a stroke of brilliance, Dix imagined visitors to the humble manger, wondering who the child that lay before them was. Employing this special perspective, the author wove a story of the child's birth, life, death, and resurrection. Each verse also answered with a triumphant declaration of the infant's divine nature. Dix published The Manger Throne in England just as the U.S. Civil War was ending. Perhaps because of the fragile state of America's collective spirit, bruised and torn by 4 years of fighting, The Manger Throne was quickly imported from Britain to the United States and became a well-known Christmas poem in both the North and the South. Yet, while it was used in Christmas services and printed in magazines and newspapers, it wasn't, skipped a page there. It wasn't until an unknown Englishman coupled Dix's lyrics with the melody of Greensleeves, and then the carol became immensely popular on both sides of the Atlantic. Unlike many others who penned lyrics to the now famous holiday classic, Dix, who died in 1898, lived long enough to see The Manger Throne become the most beloved Christmas carol, What Child Is This? Though Dix's inspired words are now recognized as some of the most concise yet powerful ever used in a hymn, it is in reality the Old English tune Greensleeves, with the advent of a radio and recording, that allowed What Child Is This to continue to grow in popularity. Once the unique melody is heard, Greensleeves is seldom forgotten. Soulfully touching and beautiful when sung a cappella or accompanied by a lone musical instrument, it is also awe-inspiring and soaring when arranged for a cathedral choir or an orchestra. Perhaps that is why William Dix's song remains one of the most beloved and remembered of all Christmas carols. What child is this who laid to rest on Mary's lap is sleeping, whom angels greet with anthems sweet, while shepherds watch are keeping? This is Christ the King, whom shepherds guard and angels sing. Haste, haste to bring him laud, the babe, the Son of Mary. Why lies he in such mean estate, where ox and ass are feeding? Good Christian, fear, for sinners hear, the silent word is pleading. Hail, hail, the Word made flesh, the babe, the Son of Mary. So bring him incense, gold and myrrh, come peasant king to own him. The King of Kings salvation brings. Let loving hearts enthrone him. Joy, joy, for Christ is born, the babe, the Son of Mary. I love that one. I absolutely love it. Here's another one that Lorri sings, and this is actually one of my all-time favorites. I hope it's one of yours too. Oh, come all ye faithful. Come all ye faithful has been sung in churches of all denominations for almost 200 years and sung in Catholic masses for much longer. In the past century, it has been recorded hundreds of times by some of the greatest entertainers in history. It is even one of the few traditional religious carols to land on the record charts, making it to the top 10 3 times. It has been translated into more than 150 languages, used in thousands of cantatas and musical productions, and called by some critics the greatest carol ever written. It is amazing, therefore, that the song's author remained unknown until just after World War II. For several hundred years, it was believed that the person who wrote O Come All Ye Faithful was an unknown cleric from the Middle Ages or even before. Legend had it that Saint Bonaventure had penned the words, so it came as quite a shock when English scholar Maurice Frost discovered 7 O Come All Ye Faithful transcripts written by hand and signed by an English Catholic priest named John Francis Wade. How Wade's authorship of this great carol remained unknown for more than 200 years is a mystery, and it may never be solved. Yet, the story behind how the Catholic cleric came to write O Come All Ye Faithful is actually one of adventure. John Wade was named a man of God caught in the middle of a holy war. In 1745, at the age of 35, Wade's life was on the line. Strife between the Church of England and the Roman Catholic Church was at an all-time high. Many practicing Catholics were forced to take their faith underground. To avoid prison or death, many priests fled Britain, including John Wade. He made his way to France, where in a city inundated by English Catholics and those who opposed the British royal family, Wade was given an important job. Since many Catholic Church records were lost during the conflict of England, Wade was to research and identify historical church music, and then he had to carefully record and preserve it for future generations. Wade took his job very seriously, leaving no stone unturned in his efforts to save anything of historical or spiritual value. Little could he have realized how just profound and long-reaching his work would come to be. A calligrapher by training, as well as a skilled musician, Wade saved not only historical church songs, he then organized and distributed them to Catholic churches throughout Europe. Though his beautifully detailed drawings and manuscripts, the priest reintroduced many forgotten songs to masses across France and beyond. Wade reclaimed old pieces, but also was inspired to write new hymns. As a Catholic cleric, it was only natural that he compose his new works in Latin. It was only natural. I reread a line. In or around 1750, Wade put the finishing touches on what would become his most famous tune, Adeste Fideles. He published it in his own book, Cantus de Versi, the next year. A decade later, he completed and put lyrics to his melody. Yet somehow, even though it was published at least 2 different times, with John Wade being credited as the composer, credits for writing Adeste Fideles remained a mystery when Frederick Oakley translated the original lyrics into English in 1841. But at about that time, many legends around the song's author began to take seed, but none of them mentioned John Wade. In the 1800s, Saint Bonaventure Bonaventura somehow emerged as the original writer of the song. There may be at least some fact to this legend. It is possible that Wade came across the writings of Bonaventura when he was doing his work in France, and that Bonaventura's songs might have inspired or influenced Wade's work during this period. The next, and often still repeated legend, began in London around 1860, when O Come All Ye Faithful was performed at the Portuguese embassy. The organist, Vincent Novella, informed his audience that a man named John Redding had composed the melody. While Redding seemed to have taken credit for writing O Come All Ye Faithful, Wade's manuscript, penned more than a century before Redding's birth, completely void his claim. You're out of there. The song was, however, published by Redding and is often called the Portuguese hymn. Because of this, many believe that the Englishman wrote the music, but that an unknown man from Portugal penned the words. The Bonaventura and Redding tales are just two of the many, supposedly, that try to pin down the origins of O Come All Ye Faithful. In America, as in most of the world, the song was adopted by many Christian churches before 1900. It was also one of the focal points of the caroling movement that had swept the country. Mobile choirs going from house to house, singing songs of the Christmas season, always sang, O Come All Ye Faithful. More often than not, each performance closed with the mighty chorus. During the 1905 Christmas season, the greatest American vocal group of the time, the Peerless Quartet, recorded and released the carol. At a time when radio had yet to introduce music to the masses, thousands of copies of the Christmas single were sold. The single even hit number 7 on the National Hit Parade. The only Christmas recording among the more than 100 Peerless Quartet hit songs, O Come All Ye Faithful became the group's signature holiday anthem. The world's most famous Irish tenor, John McCormick, took John Wade's carol to number 2 on the national playlist in 1915. A decade later, the American Glee Club proved again that O Come All Ye Faithful was still America's favorite Christmas song. In a medium where very few Christian songs found universal favor, the song remained the most beloved holiday offering until Bing Crosby cut White Christmas. Of course, on that same album release, Crosby also placed his own version of O Come All Ye Faithful. It was at that time that Maurice Frost finally sifted through all the legends and uncovered the song's real writer, finally granting John Francis Wade the credit he richly deserved. Wade's authorship and genius should be acknowledged, even though he was living in a time of great conflict between various branches of the Christian church, forced to give up the country he loved as a sacrifice of faith, and made to work long hours trying to preserve church records that others were attempting to erase for all time. Wade fully reveled in his role as servant of the Lord. In every word and verse of O Come All Ye Faithful, the composer's faith is not just verified, it is magnified. At a time when the church was literally at war, only someone who truly believed in the holiness of Christ could have written a carol that would bring all Christians together to the same place each Christmas, bowing before Christ the Lord. Okay, guys, that's it for me, because I don't want to keep you any longer. Please go over to Lorri's video. Again, I've linked it below, and listen to her sing these beautiful words and more. It will lighten your heart. It will fill your Christmas spirit. It will give you some peace. And please always remember that I love you, I value you, I honor you, I pray for you, and I am so very, very glad that each and every one of you was born.